Good morning, students. In the previous class, we had started solving the previous year question papers. Right? Let us continue that. So, question number 1C: state and explain Coulomb's law in vector form. State and explain Coulomb's law in vector form. The electrostatic force between 2 point charges. Let us consider 2 point charges here. Q1. Let it be separated by a distance of r with Q2. So from Q1 to origin, let the distance be r1 vector. From Q2 to the origin, let the distance be r2 vector. R2 vector. Right. So here we have the force F21, that is force on Q2 due to Q1, that is F21 given in this direction, and the force on Q1 due to Q2, it is given by the other direction, that is this is F12 vector. F12 vector. Okay, so the statement of Coulomb's law is like this: the electrostatic force between 2 point charges is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of the charges and is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them, and it acts along the line joining the 2 point charges. So what is Coulomb's law statement? The electrostatic force between 2 point charges is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, and it acts along the line joining the 2 point charges. So this is the statement of the Coulomb's law. Right. So we have considered 2 point charges here, Q1 and Q2, with the distance r separated between the two. Right. Let us write the equation for the Coulomb's law here. So as per the equation of the Coulomb's law, as per the statement of the Coulomb's law, we can write the force between two charges is given by F is proportional to product of the two charges, product of the magnitude of the two charges, and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. It is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So here this I can write F is equal to K into Q1 into Q2, this divided by R square, where K is the called as constant of proportionality, where K is the constant of proportionality. Right. Then this K depends on the medium in which the two charges are present. So the constant of proportionality K depends on the medium in which the two charges are present. If the charges are expressed in coulombs, the distance in meter, right, distance in meter, and the force in Newton, then the constant of proportionality K is given by K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, where epsilon is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r is the permittivity of the medium. It is the permittivity of the medium. Epsilon naught is given by, value of epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad per meter, or that is also equal to 1 upon 36 pi into 10 raised to minus 9 farad per meter. This is called as absolute permittivity or permittivity of free space, and epsilon r is relative permittivity of the medium. Epsilon r is relative permittivity of the medium. Hence the Coulomb's law can be expressed as, finally the Coulomb's law can be expressed as F is equal to Q1 Q2, this divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. F is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. where force is a vector quantity. If because force is a vector quantity, so Coulomb's law can be expressed in vector form as, since force is a vector quantity, Coulomb's law can be expressed in vector form as F vector is equal to Q1 into Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon r square dot AR multiplied by AR, where AR is the unit vector in the direction of the force. AR is unit vector in the direction of the force. So in above figure, the force exerted by Q2 on Q1, that is in this figure, the force exerted by Q2 on Q1, that is the force on Q1 due to Q2. Force on Q1 due to Q2 is given by F12, this is equal to Q1 Q2 this divided by 4 pi epsilon r square, right? So it is the force on Q1 due to Q2. So source is Q2, destination is Q1. So it is A21. Unit vector will be A21 from source to destination, A21, right? So this into A21, where A21 is, what is A21? A21, it is nothing but destination minus source. Destination is A21. Okay, source is 2, destination is 1, so destination minus source. So it is R1 vector minus R2 vector divided by R1 vector minus R2 vector. We know how to find the unit vector. Unit vector is given by the vector divided by its magnitude. So the vector is R1 vector minus R2 vector, destination minus source, divided by its magnitude, R1 vector minus R2 vector, right? So in this way we have written the unit vector. Similarly, if we want to find the force exerted on Q2 by Q1, force exerted on Q2 by Q1, that is F21. Just now we found out F12, F21, that is force on Q2 due to Q1. Okay, so it is force on Q2 due to Q1. Force on Q2 due to Q1. This is given by Q1 Q2 this divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into A12. This time the unit vector will be A12 because source is Q1, destination is Q2. So source to destination, A12, where A12 is destination minus source. So destination is 2, source is 1. So R2 vector minus R1 vector, this divided by magnitude of R2 vector minus R1 vector. Since we have A21 vector, that is unit vector, is minus of A12 vector. That if we consider A21 and A12 here and our particular Coulomb's law, so A21 will be minus of A12, right? One is R1 minus R2 divided by magnitude of R1 minus R2. Another one is R2 minus R1 divided by magnitude of R2 minus R1. So A21 is equal to minus of A12. Therefore, we have F12 vector is minus of F21 vector. This indicates that the force exerted by two charges on each other is equal but opposite in direction. Force exerted by two charges on each other is equal but opposite in direction. Fine, students. So this is about the Coulomb's law. Next we will move on to the next question. That is question number 2a. Give the Cartesian coordinates of the vector field h bar is equal to 20 arrow bar minus 10 a5 bar plus 3 az bar at the point P of x equal to 5, y equal to 2, z is equal to minus 1. So we are supposed to find the Cartesian coordinates of the vector field, right? So the vector field is in terms of rho, phi and z. So if the vector field is in rho, phi and z, then it is which system, students? Whether it is Cartesian or cylindrical or spherical, tell me. So if it is rho phi z or r phi z, right? Sometimes they use rho, sometimes they use r, right? Both are one and the same. So if it is, now here given is h bar is equal to 20 a rho bar minus 10 a phi bar plus 3 a z bar. They can also give it as h bar is equal to 20 a r bar minus 10 a phi bar plus 3 a z bar. So both are one and the same. So that is, it is given in rho phi and z coordinates or r phi and z coordinates. So it is cylindrical system. So given vector is in cylindrical system, right? So given vector is in cylindrical system, is in cylindrical system. So if it is in cylindrical system, then to convert it into Cartesian coordinates, we have to find the Cartesian coordinates of the given vector in cylindrical system. Okay, so if you want to find out that, then first we have to find the components of this given vector field in Cartesian x direction, in y direction and in z direction, right? So first one, hx, that is component of the vector field in x direction. It is h bar dot ax bar, so that is, this will be equal to 20 ar bar minus 10 a phi bar plus 3 az bar dot ax bar. So this comes out to 20 ar bar dot ax bar minus 10 a phi bar dot ax bar plus 3 az bar dot ax bar. So we have a table here. We have to remember this table for converting. There is a dot operator table. It is called as dot operator table. So according to this dot operator table, we have, so it is ax bar, ay bar, az bar on one side, and on another side we have dot of ar bar, a phi bar and az bar. So ax bar dot ar bar or ar bar dot ax bar is cos phi, ax bar dot a phi bar or a phi bar dot ax bar is minus sin phi, ax bar dot az bar or az bar dot ax bar is 0. Similarly we have the other terms, sin phi here, then cos phi 0, sin phi cos phi 0, then 0 0 1. Az bar dot az bar is 1. We know that the dot product of the vector, unit vector with itself is unity, it is 1. Az bar dot az bar is 1. Okay, so this is called as a dot operator table. So using this dot operator table, so we have to find ar bar dot ax bar, a phi bar dot ax bar, az bar dot ax bar. So these will be then hx is equal to 20 ar bar dot x bar. Ar bar dot x bar is cos phi. So this will be 20 cos phi minus 10 a phi bar dot ax bar. A phi bar dot ax bar is minus sin phi. So this is minus sin phi, right? Plus 3 into az bar dot x bar. Az bar dot x bar or ax bar dot az bar is 0. So this is 0. So this is nothing but hx is equal to 20 cos phi plus 10 sin phi So at point P, x equal to 5, y equal to 2 and z is equal to minus 1. At point x equal to 5, y equal to 2 and z equal to minus 1, we have the formula here for the angle, that is phi is given by tan inverse of y by x. Phi is given by tan inverse of y by x, that is tan inverse of, right, y is 2, x is 5. So tan inverse of 2 by 5, this will be 21.8014 degrees. 21.8014 degrees. So therefore let us evaluate cos phi and sin phi. Therefore cos of phi, that is cos of 21.8014 degrees, this will be equal to 0.9284. Similarly sin phi, this will be equal to sine of 21.8014 degrees. This comes out to 0.3714. So substitute this cos phi and sin phi in hx here in this equation. So if we substitute the values of cos phi and sin phi, then we get, substitute the values of cos phi and sin phi, then we get here hx will be equal to 20 into 0.9284 plus 10 into 0.3714. This will be equal to 22.282. That is hx component. Similarly find hy. Hy is equal to h bar dot ay bar. That is 20 ar bar minus 10 a phi bar plus 3 az bar dot of ay bar. So again use the dot operator table. From the dot operator table, so we have to find, that is 20 ar bar dot ay bar minus 10 a phi bar dot ay bar plus 3 az bar dot ay bar. So let us find from the dot operator table. So from the dot operator table, ar bar dot ay bar, ar dot ay is sin phi, or ay dot ar is sin phi. Okay, so like this we have to consider the values from the dot operator table. So ar bar dot ay bar is sin phi, so this is 20 sin phi minus 10 a phi bar dot ay bar is cos phi minus 10 cos phi plus 0. Az bar dot ay bar is 0. So this comes out to, substitute the values of sin phi and cos phi. We have calculated them in the previous for finding hx. So that is 20 into sin phi value is 0.3714 minus 10 into cos phi is 0.9284. So the answer comes out to minus 1.856. Similarly hz component, this is given by h bar dot az bar, that is 20 ar bar minus 10 a phi bar plus 3 az bar dot of az bar. So that is, I can write it as 20 ar bar dot az bar minus 10 a phi bar dot az bar plus 3 az bar dot az bar. So this is nothing but ar bar dot az bar is 0, so 20 into 0, minus it is minus 10 a phi bar dot az bar is 0, minus 10 into 0 plus 3 az bar dot az bar is 1, so plus 3 into 1. So this comes out to 3. So we have the hx component, hy component and hz component. So I can write h bar is equal to hx is 22.282, so that is 22.282 ax bar, right? Then ay is, that is hy is minus 1.856, so it is minus 1.856 ay bar minus 1.856 ay bar plus hz is 3, so plus 3 az bar. So this is in Cartesian system. Okay students, right? So like this we have to find the coordinates, right, given the vector field. If they are given the vector field and they are asking the coordinates in some other system, so this is how we have to find out. So that is shown by this particular example. So in today's class, students, we have taken up the statement of the Coulomb's law, and that we have defined that, and we have derived the equation for the Coulomb's law, right? Statement of Coulomb's law, and we have expressed the Coulomb's law in vector form. Okay. Then we have solved an example of converting the given vector field into some other coordinates, some other system coordinates. So it was given in cylindrical, we converted it into Cartesian coordinates. Hope everybody have followed, students, here, right? If there are any doubts in these topics, send your doubts to me. I'll clarify your doubts. Thank you.